be led in prayer by Alderman Gallagher. After that, please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. It will be led by Alderman Payne.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for allowing us to be here tonight, Lord. We thank you for watching out for our country and our city, Lord. Lord, I pray that your hand would be over Southaven as we have some bad weather headed this way, Lord, that you would just keep us and the residents safe of Southaven. In your name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First on the agenda this evening is the approval of minutes for the February 5, 2019 meeting.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the minutes of the regular meeting of February 5th, 2019 with any additions, deletions, or corrections.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Hoots. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Brooks?
Yes.
Alderman Kelly?
Yes.
Alderman Hoots?
Yes.
Alderman Payne?
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher?
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler?
Yes.
Alderman Flores?
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is a resolution amending ordinance Title I, Chapter 2, Section 1 through 26. And this is regarding meetings off-site from the standard City Hall location. Purpose of this is for the City Hall renovation. When this room is being renovated, we'll need a temporary place to hold the meetings. The plan as of right now is to hold it at the library across the street. We think that will only be for the months of May, June, and July. So, Nick, if I'm understanding correctly, we need to pass a resolution authorizing us to have the meeting off-site from its standard location.
Yeah, the resolution, the ordinance now requires you to have the first meeting at City Hall. The second meeting of the month can be wherever the board designates it, but the first meeting has to be at City Hall. This resolution will amend the ordinance to allow the board to designate the first meeting to be at a different site, so that way you're complying with your ordinances.
Mr. Mayor, I move we adopt the resolution of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen of the City of Southaven, amending the Southaven Code of Ordinances, Title I, Chapter 2, Section 1-26, as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Brooks, second by Alderman Payne. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Brooks?
Yes.
Alderman Kelly?
Yes.
Alderman Hoots?
Yes.
Alderman Payne?
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher?
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler?
Yes.
Alderman Flores?
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is the Southaven Fire Department contract with Stryker Medical. Mr. Nick Manley.
This is a contract with Stryker Medical, as the mayor notes, for service for certain equipment. It's a sole source. They're the ones who can provide it. The contract is for, we made a couple of changes in the contract, which they agreed to. So tonight, just authorization for Chief Scaggs to sign the contract with Stryker. And so it can include our minutes, and they can assist the Southaven Fire Department with those needs for the service of equipment.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Hoots. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. Next on the agenda is a resolution for Freeport warehouse tax exemption for Ivano's Medical Sales LLC.
This is the tax exemption for the Freeport warehouse for those goods in transit. It's recommended by the Salah County Council and was approved by the Salah County Board of Supervisors this morning for that tax exemption based on Ivano's medical sales application and review of the same. So tonight, authorization for the Freeport tax warehouse exemption and authorize the mayor to sign that resolution as recommended and approved by the Board of Supervisors and the Salah County Council.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Gallagher, second by Alderman Kelly. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Brooks?
Yes.
Alderman Kelly?
Yes.
Alderman Hoots?
Yes.
Alderman Payne?
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher?
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler?
Yes.
Alderman Flores?
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is a resolution for donation. And this is basically just to clean up, make sure we have up-to-date resolution on file authorizing our donation of city facilities, specifically at 385 State Line Road. We have, nothing has changed. We have the same nonprofit organizations there, but we just need to update with board resolution that we are donating that space.
Going to be 3 of them.
You can do one for, I mean, it's for the Soto Grace, the
National Guard.
National Guard, Healing Hearts, or whatever, Parliament, yeah. You can just do one resolution, there are 3 separate resolutions, but you can just do, go ahead and do 9 since we're all here, is make a resolution, a motion for all 3, somebody second for all 3.
Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt the resolution of the Mayor Board of Aldermen, City of Southaven, for lease donation of parkland land to Mississippi National Guard. And what's the other one? Soto Grace, as presented.
Second.
We got a motion by Alderman Brooks, second by Alderman Kelly. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Brooks.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is a resolution for liens.
It's just a resolution for liens for the properties that have been cut. This will later be turned into assessments at the appropriate date. So it's not just authorization for the resolution for the liens that will be filed pursuant to 21-1911.
I'll make that motion. Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Kelly, second by Alderman Payne. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Brooks.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is a resolution for unmarked vehicles.
This is the resolution required in state law for those police vehicles that will be unmarked. And this resolution will list the 2 vehicles that will be unmarked pursuant to investigative type purposes and be provided to the state auditor's office. Authorization for the mayor to sign this resolution as recommended by the chief of police and deputy chief of police.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Flores, second by Alderman Payne. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Brooks.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is our FY 20 DUI grant application for the Southampton Police Department. Chief Steve Pearl.
Mayor Board, here to request permission to apply for the 2020 DPS DUI grant for authorization for the mayor to sign. We've requested to pay for 2 officers' position, 2 full-time DUI officers' position, plus the overtime for saturations for DUI enforcement. We're requesting a total of $127,298.20. We just need to get your permission for us to apply for the mayor to sign it.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Brooks, second by Alderman Hoots. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Brooks.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is the FY 2020 Occupant Protection Grant for the Southampton Police Department.
This is also another grant that we're asking permission to apply for and authorization for the mayor to sign. It's for the occupant protection grant, specifically addressing seat belts and child restraint violations. We're requesting $24,246.72 to be used for overtime for officers to perform saturation details, trying to locate and identify drivers and occupants who are not safely belted in.
Mr. Mayor, I move for, that we approve the police department to apply for the occupation protection grant and allow you to sign.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Brooks. Chief, do you have the statistics that you shared with me this morning? Would you share that with the board? I thought that was very important, just as a reminder. Obviously, we all know by this point how important seat belts and protective restraint systems are, but I thought the statistics were very interesting that you shared this morning. Would you share that with the board?
Yes, sure will. In 2016, which is the most recent and current results that are available to us through highway safety, in 2016, there were 10,428 unrestrained deaths in motor vehicle accidents in the U.S. And out of those, not being restrained was the leading cause of death for children 10 years of age, and then for every age bracket between age 16 and age 23. And again, that was the leading cause of death for those age brackets for that year.
And one of the reasons I wanted you to share that is, commonly, I know that I hear, and I'm sure the board members do, but, I'll get a comment from our citizens at some point, like, that things are petty, like, why are we giving a seatbelt violation, things like that, and sometimes people forget that public safety is not just, fighting serious crimes like that, it's also keeping people safe and keeping children and young people safe in automobiles. So that's why I just wanted to, kind of highlight those statistics to remind everyone that's why it is an important thing.
Yes, sir. For every time there is an accident, there's actually 3 accidents involved. You've got the accident involving the 2 vehicles, and then you've got the accident of how the body reacts inside the interior of the vehicle and what it may hit. And then you have the internal accident where your organs and everything are, bouncing against bones and things. And if you don't have your seat belt on, that just makes the other 2 accidents even that much worse.
Well, we've all heard about people getting ejected from the vehicle, but people don't think about what you just said, like the separation of your organs from the internal,
Yes.
Parts of your body that does permanent damage by not being restrained.
Yes.
So I appreciate that information. Okay, so we had motion and second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Brooks.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Hoots.
Yes.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is authorization accept the contract with F&F Construction. And F&F Construction, this is regarding the city monument signs that we discussed at the last meeting. So is there a motion to approve this contract?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Brooks, second by Alderman Hoots. Is there any other discussion?
Start.
Whitney just updated me this morning about that. We expect that construction will start within 30 days, correct, Whitney?
Weather prevailing.
Right. We have one issue we're still trying to finalize. As I mentioned last meeting, the first sign that we're working on will be at the southwest corner of State Line and I-55. So that's where we're going to start. We already have the easement from MDOT.
Correct.
We're good to go on that,
Good
correct?
on that one.
And then the only other thing, we've gotten a verbal approval from the property owner at Star Landing, at the southern entrance on I-55 off Star Landing. But the property owner just wanted to meet on site just to verify before the easement is given. And obviously with the weather, that's been challenging. There's no roads there, so it's been difficult to do that. But as soon as it dries out, we're going to meet that person on site, get the easement, and it'll be good to go on the second site. We budgeted for 2 signs, so those will be the first 2 signs in our city's history like that, and those will be the locations. Okay, is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. And next on our agenda is our planning agenda, but nothing, Whitney?
Nothing.
Okay, nothing on the planning agenda. Next on the agenda is the mayor's report. Just a couple of quick updates. I need a little bit of board action as well. In the department head meeting this morning, we were getting updates on our progress with our parks enhancement plan. This changes from time to time due to, design, delays in design, weather, issues like that. So I just wanted everyone to be updated, and then I'm going to ask the board this evening if you'll go ahead and give authorization for us to go to bid. Nick had a great idea this morning. He said, my goal was just to update you, but he said, it may be a good idea while you're talking about it to go ahead and get authorization to bid for all of them, since these are projects that were already approved by you during the budget. And so I'm going to ask you to do that tonight after I give you the update. Basically, the update, the first thing, y'all are familiar with the arena floor leveling. That's to help, with the multi-use of the arena on Highway 51. Y'all are all aware that we've had a very successful volleyball operation there in the first year. We knew that if we leveled the floor, that it would give us more flexibility to have other events there, and so we want to do that. That's very important. The estimated cost of that was about $500,000. On the schedule, we've adjusted the schedule. The bid date is April 1. Projected construction start date would be June 1, and it's about a 3-month project, so we should have that done in September. Next thing on the list that was part of our plan was Springfest Pavement and dual amphitheater parking lot. That one is scheduled to bid on April 1. And then construction will start immediately after this year's Springfest, and as y'all know, that will bring pavement to the area that's been a marshy area, just been a mess for the history of Springfest over there. Anybody that's over there, I don't have to explain that. What that will do is, it'll be like a landscape parking lot with a center pedestrian piece down the middle, kind of like Tiger Lane at the Liberty Bowl in Memphis. So it really is going to look good. The design is being tweaked now, but construction expected to start right after Springfest in May. Projected completion date, it's about a 6-month project, so November 1. Soccer at Snowden Grove, projected putting 7 fields at Snowden. That's still under design. We had to buy another little piece of real estate for the entrance. That's all been done. Bid date May 1, construction start July 1, projected completion April of 2020. Field of Dreams Playground, y'all are aware of that one. I think I may have mentioned that last meeting. That is under construction now, and it's expected to be complete by the end of March. By the end of March it should be safe. And then Greenbrick Indoor Training Facility, the bid date that's already been bid. We're waiting on. Actually, that should be on Andrew. That was the one we talked about this morning. Okay, so next Wednesday will be the bid. We expect that construction. I didn't get an update on that one, but I think construction should be underway sometime in April, and I believe that was about I think that was a 4. Is Dan here? Okay. I think that was a 4-month project. But anyway, I'll update you later on that one. I don't have a specific date, but it should be under construction sometime in April.
On that one, Mayor, I think the goal is to award that bid at the next board meeting.
Okay.
So on the Greenbrick softball, to award that, I think that's the goal, is to award the bid at the next meeting.
So we don't need to do anything with that one yet?
No, sir.
These others, we go ahead and authorize to go to bid.
Authorize to go to bid, and then the bid will come back in front of the board for approval.
Okay.
There's 2 actions. The first tonight, and the next one, the bids actually come in. So.
Okay. So would someone make a motion, please, to authorize a bid on all the projects with the exception of Greenbrick?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Wheeler, second by Alderman Hoots. Is there any other discussion? Did you make, was that you or Joe? Oh, I'm sorry, let me correct that. Y'all separate a little bit. Alderman Gallagher made the motion. Alderman Hoots seconded the motion. Is there any other discussion?
Mayor, what's the volleyball folks going to do for those 3 months? Have they got some kind of alternate, or are they going to be able to practice around the edge or something?
Yeah, it's in the off season, so we'll just have to tweak the schedule to make arrangements to that. And but yeah, they're aware, Wes and everybody's aware of that. So yeah, we'll just with it being an off season, we'll just work around that. And then if I guess that we do have some other potential alternate locations if we had to, like I don't think that we will have to do that, but we do have the indoor soccer area at the Bank Plus building at Snowden, that you could play volleyball there, but I think that we're okay like it is. Wes, am I correct? Okay, we have no worries there. Good question, thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Brooks.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
And that motion carries. The next thing I want to update everyone on, some people may think this is boring. I plan on doing a post about it on social media. It's about our annexed area with the fire hydrant expansion or extension. When we annexed properties in the past, nothing was done to the water line. So like when we annexed these, a lot of these water lines that were done were 4-inch lines. For our equipment in Southaven to work properly, to give the same flow, same fire protection, we need 12-inch water lines. So this was brought to my attention sometime in 2014 by the former fire chief, Ron White. He asked me what I thought about that. I said, well, that needs to be a high priority. And it's very expensive, but a high priority. Met with Ray Humphrey, our utilities director, about that. They all agreed that this is a high priority, and so we brought that to the board, had that approved a few years back, and we've been in process of doing this. Well, we had a lot of areas that were annexed in the past, so it is a time-consuming thing, but I just want to give you an update that we're almost done. We broke it up into 6 priorities. And then let me add, by the way, with all the buzz about annexation, anybody heard anything about annexation recently? So just to show you that Southaven has been careful in upholding our commitments. I wasn't here when we annexed these properties, but I think it's extremely important. If you are going to go out and annex, you ought to be able to back it up and give them the same services that you're giving everyone else in the city. And so that's why it's very important to me. But I'm happy to tell you we've moved on of the 6 priorities. I'm going to just quickly name the ones that are done. The first one was the Malone Road area. Second is some areas off of Sweeney on the Ward 4, Joel. And wasn't there a fire there? There was a fire in the past in that area. The third priority, and this is just based on the cost. We tried to knock out the least expensive ones, cost benefit ratio, least expensive that's served the most people. 3 was some area off of Church Road, and that's also Ward 4. And then 4, again, some property off in the Star Landing area. That's already done. And then the one that's under construction now, one of them is about done now, is Hornet Creek Crossing. That's almost complete. So that's going to leave us out of 6 that we started. We started this in 2016, I believe. That's going to leave us with 1 left, and that's the most expensive one, which is Alderman Hoots in Ward 2. It's the Grandview Lakes area. You've probably been contacted about that. I have many times. So when this one is done, it will be the next project, and we'll be done with all of them. And this will provide the 12-inch lines to Grandview and the State Line Road West area, so that all these properties are getting the same fire protection as everyone else in the city of Southaven. But anyway, I just want to update you on that. That's all I have this evening. Moving on, next on the agenda is our citizens agenda. No one has signed up, but again, we welcome anyone that would like to speak. Is there anyone that would like to speak? Please come forward and state your name. I don't see anyone this evening, so we'll move on. Next on the agenda is our personnel docket.
Mr. Mayor, we approve the personnel documents presented on this date.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Brooks, second by Alderman Payne. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Brooks.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is our city attorney's legal update.
A couple quick items. First, this came up yesterday, or this weekend. Authorization under a rental policy, when you lease or rent a building, you have alcohol, you have to get approval from the board. So tonight, there's a wedding, not tonight, but tonight, approval for a wedding. Kevin Blackwell's renting the Stoughton house for a wedding in May, so an authorization for them to have alcohol for the rental tonight.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Brooks. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Brooks.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries.
And then I have two tax assessment refund claims. The first is for Mr. McDermott at the address for you, the minutes. Sorry, put the address up here. 1582 Staunton Drive in Southaven. It was purchased after the liens were filed, but before the assessment was done, so the third party unsuspecting purchaser, so refund, he's already paid the tax, but a refund amount of $2,208, that includes the penalties for the 1582 Staunton Drive property. Being recommended tonight because unsuspecting third party purchaser.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Brooks, second by Alderman Payne. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Brooks.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries.
And the next one is for Dye Management, Inc. Corporate recommendation, basically the notices were not sent to the correct, were sent to the wrong entity from the standpoint of what it was for the new process of the tax assessor's website, or tax assessor's information, and along with the actual places required to give the notice for 21-1911. So they had no notice of the claim as well, or the assessments as well. And the refund in the amount of $2,487 for the taxes they paid just on the, it's not for the property tax, just for the assessment tax, condemnation loans in 21-1911. So authorization for that refund tonight as well, for Dye Management Inc. at 8175 Whitehead Drive.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Brooks. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Brooks.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is the utility bill adjustment docket.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the adjustment docket in the utility department as of 2/19/2019 as presented. Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Kelly. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Brooks.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is our claims docket.
Mr. Mayor, we have two dockets tonight. I move we approve docket number 1 in the amount of $1,153,354.58, including demand checks.
Second.
On docket 1, we have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Hoots. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Brooks.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Hoop.
Yes.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Christie, while I'm thinking about it and waiting on Alderman Flores, on the agenda in the future, I'd like to see the dockets listed out separately, like docket 1, docket 2, or however many there are. Just makes it,
If, Andrea, can you let me know when there's more than one, and I can surely do that.
thank you. Okay, is there a motion to approve docket 2?
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve docket number 2 in the amount of $569.40.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Wheeler. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Brooks.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Hoop.
Yes.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
That motion carries. Okay, next on the agenda is to determine the need for executive session.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Gallagher, second by Alderman Brooks. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. The need this evening is litigation against the city, potential economic development with new industry and business locating within the city, and also citywide departments personnel. So is there a motion to declare executive session?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Brooks. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. The mayor and board will now enter executive session.